taco video. We're gonna do a small 5-minute video. It's gonna be a story time. Story time. Zeditao, story time. Zudu, story time. Story time. Alright, anyway. So, here's the story. If you go back and watch a video I did a couple months ago, it was right when the Corona thing started kicking in. The video is called Corona Kindness. The girl messaged me. She wanted to buy the newspapers that I had online. I had the book for $1,200, which it was worth what it was worth. Sometimes things are only worth what somebody's going to pay for it, but it was only on there for a couple days, and I didn't really even give myself enough of a chance to try to sell it for the high dollar amount. So anyway, she haggled me. She convinced me to sell it to her for a cheaper price at $150. She got me all the way down to $150. So I don't want to go into how she did that. You can go back and watch the other video if you want to know how she did it. I mean, she was a pretty good negotiator. So anyway, I've been going back and forth with her father about the rest of these papers that I have. And originally I wanted 200 a sleeve. There's 3 sleeves that I have, and they're sealed. They're unopened. They were never opened. They're from the newspaper company, and I don't know, 19 whenever is when it was packaged. So I gave him the privilege enough to open up one of them. All right, I was gonna list them unopened, sealed, but he wanted to open one and he wanted to look at it. He opened it and then he haggled me on it, and I didn't really like that. I wasn't comfortable with that. I asked for 100, and then he opened it, and then he tried haggling me down to $75. I wasn't having it. So he called me later and he asked me if I'd sell it to him for $75, and I said no. I said 100. You opened it, all right? You got to see what was inside, and now you want it? No, it was sealed. It's a friggin' mystery for $200. That's what it is. It's a $200 mystery, all right? So again, he had me bring him back because he wanted to look at him again. So I brought him back. I had him look at him again, and then he tried haggling me again, and I said no, I'm not having it. Now it's been about a month later, and I knew he was gonna call me, and he calls me and says that his daughter is going through a breakup with a boyfriend, and he wants to give her something to distract her through the whole process. Okay, that's cool. So he asked if I could bring him down again. All right, but in my eyes, I'm only bringing the one that you opened. That's it. That's the only one that's on the table for sale for you for $100. Any of the other ones are $200, and I know he's not going to pay that, so I'm not bringing them down here. How many times do I have to put something in my car? And he's scheduling times for me to meet up. He's contacted me over 50 times. He's given me messages through eBay, hinting to eBay that we're kind of doing transactions, and I'm not feeling it, you know? I'm like trying to wash my way with this guy. I'm trying to sell the stuff to him just so I can just be done with him. So I bring him everything, and he's like, oh, where's the sealed ones? And I'm like, I didn't bring those. I'm not selling you those. And he's like, oh, I wanted those. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you're going to get the one that you opened originally. That's the one that you're going to get. You're not opening any more of them. I'm not having you open any more of them because you didn't even buy that one. So that's the only one that's for sale. And he says, oh, well, if you put the other ones for sale, let me know. And I'm like, no, I'm not selling them to you, I told him. And I said, I'm listing them on eBay. That's it. And he goes, oh, well, I'll look for them on eBay. No, you won't be able to because I'm going to block you. So you can't look at them, all right? And that's going to be a fact. And I'm going to put in the description of what you did, all right? I'm going to put in the description so your daughter can see the description of how you kind of handled your situations on how you treated me. Like, I go out of my way to bring you something, show you something that you want, and then you haggle me on it, and then you don't want it. All right? So, I'll put that in the description for you. All right? So, that's kind of the story of that. I bring this guy an item 3 or 4 times, and he just keeps haggling and haggling and haggling. And oh, wow, this road brings me to here. Cool. So yeah, he keeps haggling me, and I wasn't having it. So I told him to hit the road, and told him thanks for wasting my time. I mean, you can only be so nice sometimes, you know? And first off, his daughter got all the haggling done for him, because he's not the greatest haggler at all. He's probably like the world's awfulest haggler. And he should have brought his daughter along, and he would have probably had way better luck being able to buy something, because just the way he was acting and, you know, carrying on with himself about how it wasn't a big deal that he opened that and didn't buy it, you know. And I said no worries that he opened it, because I wanted to know what was in there too. But after you tell me that you want it again and you want me to bring it back 2 times, I don't think so. So that's kind of the story, and that's where I'm at. Don't be overly nice to people sometimes. They end up walking all over you. See how that guy just walked all over me? Maybe bring these to him like 3 times, and haggles me, and doesn't respect my job. He only respected how much money he was going to pay in the end. And honestly, I think his story was a little made up about how his daughter got into a drama with her boyfriend, and she needs something to distract herself. I think it was all made up just so that he could get a better deal on the lot, and that's shady practice. And I'm a Pisces, and I can see through that. So people don't know that, and I don't really give a lot of that away. But yeah, I'm a Pisces, and I read people for a living. Like, that's what I do. I used to do that when I was a kid. I would just sit and watch. I would never talk. I would always watch everybody. I'd watch how they'd work. I'd watch how they'd act. I'd watch how they'd react. And I learned people skills on how people's mannerisms. I know all that, you know. So I saw right through him, and it was kind of shady, and I just told him to hit the road. I was pretty upset about it, because I could just tell he was only out for himself. He didn't want nothing to do with that lot right there that he opened, you know. And I gave him the choice of which ones he wanted to open, and that's the one he opened. And now he doesn't want to buy it. So. All right, so that's the lesson, you know. Be nice, but don't let people walk on you. All right. Peace. Later. Keep picking.